Hey folks, today I'll be responding to a short clip from a media briefing given by former South African President Jacob Zuma, in which he openly calls current South African President Cyril Ramaphosa corrupt. Now, this is ironic, given that Jacob Zuma is currently the focus of a multi-year investigation into his allegedly criminal business dealings and ties to the Gupta family, a family of Indian businessmen to whom Zuma is alleged to have given the keys to the country in exchange for financial favors and international opportunities, not only for himself, but for his extended family. Let's get started.
What President Ramaphosa has said about the many dollars under his bed or furniture is true, that he conducts private businesses while serving as president of our country. That on its own is unconstitutional, and those who applaud him for doing so commit the most disgusting transgression, not a transaction, transgression. I'm spelling it wrong.
It's highly ironic that Jacob Zuma here is condemning Ramaphosa for doing private business while serving as the president, because when he was in the country's top spot and he was questioned with regard to his dealings with the Gupta family, he laughed it off and simply said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, they're just my friends." Let's continue.
Conducted private business while holding the high office of president is nothing but corruption.
He's being very sanctimonious and very self-righteous here, but at the same time as his presidency, one of his sons, who I believe was in his early 20s at the time, was also asked about his own dealings with the Gupta family and why they would be interested in helping such a young man in his own business affairs. And similarly to his father, Zuma's son said, "Oh, there's nothing untoward about this. I'm just a very likable person, and they just wanted to help me out." He flatly denied that them helping him had anything to do with the fact that his father at the time was the most powerful man in our country.
Which is inconsistent with the nature of that office and the Constitution itself.
It is highly hypocritical of Jacob Zuma now to present himself as a defender of the South African Constitution and legal system, because several years ago he went on public record at an open meeting and said that from his perspective the African National Congress as an organization was more important than the Constitution itself. So make no mistake, everything he is saying here is simply a self-serving attempt to avoid the consequences of his own corruption. There's nothing sincere in anything here that he's saying at all. He just wants to find any way out of facing the wrath of the law for his own misdeeds.
It is inconsistent with the oath of office taken by President and those who defend such deeds, both in the executive and the legislature commit treason against our constitution. Suffice it to say that your president has committed treason. But it's all silent, all keeping quiet. As somebody said, we have not. I should have heard it, by the way. No president should conduct private business while in office. It's not allowed. Our country's problems are too big for a president who is busy hustling on the side.
Again, it's absurd for him to refer to anyone else as a hustler, because that's essentially what he is. He has very little formal education in the way of academics, but he is very street smart and he knows how to manipulate a crowd. That is how he was able to rise through the ranks of the ANC and become president of this country. So again, this is all just a transparent attempt to shift the focus from his own criminal behavior onto somebody who I'm sure for many years he used to consider an ally.
To add insult to injury, the Western Cape High Court has found that the president went further and suspended the public protector for the sole purpose of covering up his pala corruption.
Just to provide some context there, the public protector is a legal office in South Africa where a advocate or a supposedly highly trained lawyer is tasked with prosecuting cases in which the public interest has been damaged. His complaint here regarding Ramaphosa going to court trying to have the current public protector removed, there's more to it than that, because while I don't doubt that Ramaphosa would very much like to have evidence of his corruption hidden, the woman that serves as public protector was appointed by Jacob Zuma himself, and she is one of his allies. So this is all part of the complex web and the game they're all playing, and we as ordinary South Africans can do nothing but watch, because this stuff is all about their own egos, their own power, their own prestige. They don't actually give a damn about doing the jobs for which they were elected.
The president is corrupt.
I feel like I should apologize to you for having to sit through that, given how slowly he speaks, even when he's very clearly reading from a prepared speech. But that is just the nature of how he communicates. In fact, he much prefers to go off script and just shoot from the hip about what he's feeling. But there are numerous occasions, going back to when he was, in fact, president of South Africa, as well as before, that when he goes off script, he says things which are very upsetting to the international community. Because something you must understand about Jacob Zuma is that he is the quintessential tribal leader. He doesn't really have any respect for Western concepts like law or equality or even morality. He is very driven by what serves himself and those he cares about. If given the opportunity, I have no doubt that he would seek to be president again and rule as an autocrat who no one would be allowed to question. It's secretly what they all want, and by they all, I mean the ANC. They play nice with the international community because they like the benefits that Western society and Western technology offers. But in truth, it doesn't mesh with their cultural values. And if they could discard the rule of law and the justice system entirely and make decisions about what to do with the country entirely from their own minds, this is what they would do. And this is the situation that ordinary South Africans are forced to contend with every day. I hope that this has been enlightening or at least illustrative for you about the nature of South African politics. And for now, farewell.